What emotional challenges do victims face in restorative justice? Imagine sitting across from someone who has hurt you deeply, feeling a mix of fear, anger, and hope all at once. That's what victims often experience in restorative justice processes. These sessions are meant to help victims find closure and understanding, but the emotional journey can be complex and challenging. Many victims start with a lot of anxiety about participating. They worry about facing the offender and whether they will be safe or overwhelmed during the meeting. This fear can make the idea of restorative justice seem intimidating, even before it begins. Once in the process, victims can feel vulnerable because they might sense a power imbalance. They may feel like their voice isn't truly heard or worry that the offender might dominate the conversation. This feeling of helplessness can make them hesitant to fully open up. Sharing traumatic experiences is never easy. When victims recount what happened, they often face intense emotional reactions like intrusive thoughts or feelings of distress. Talking about their trauma can be both cathartic and exhausting, as it stirs up feelings they might have tried to suppress. Another challenge is figuring out if the offender's apology is sincere. Victims often struggle with doubts about whether the remorse shown is genuine or just for show. If they sense insincerity, it can cause feelings of betrayal or disappointment, making healing more difficult. Some victims also feel upset when they believe the consequences for the offender are lighter than they expected. This can lead to feelings of anger or unfairness, especially if they think justice isn't fully served. There's also pressure to forgive and move on. Victims might feel expected to show they've healed or to become advocates for restorative justice. If they still feel angry or sad after the process, they might feel guilty or like they've failed. Many victims seek answers about why they were targeted, but sometimes offenders can't or won't explain, leaving victims with unresolved questions that cause emotional pain. Even after the sessions end, victims might feel a letdown. The support they received during the process may suddenly disappear, leaving them feeling alone again. They also often experience conflicting feelings, anger toward the offender mixed with empathy or compassion. This emotional tug-of-war can be confusing and difficult to navigate. While restorative justice can bring positive feelings like relief and satisfaction, it also presents real emotional hurdles. Understanding these challenges helps practitioners better prepare victims and offer support, making the process less overwhelming and more healing.